Hello, lovely people. Welcome to today's edition. On this platform, we are here to always bring you people to share their life experience with you, to inspire you, to also learn several moral lessons and several experiences so that these can be also useful in your life. Today, I'm with one special guest here, and today she has come to share all her life experience and so much lesson from us. One thing I love about her is how she coaches people. She is a life coach,
Mm.
an educator. She's everything, content creator, everything. So, without wasting my time and without adulterating much about her, I'd like her to introduce herself. Welcome, Madam Jennifer Riches.
Thank you for having me, Dax. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for reaching out to me and having me on your show. You are doing a tremendous job and putting the word out there and respect all the time. Yeah.
Wow,
So, my name is
thank you
Jennifer
so much.
Richards. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm from the beautiful Caribbean island of Jamaica. I'm the
wow,
last of six children. I am a single mother. And as Dax mentioned, I am a life coach, author, educator, mentor, trainer, and the list goes on because I am a lifelong learner. I'm always
wow,
curious about things and learning new things and moving to new levels and aspiring to impact and influence my world. Mhm.
wow. That's so powerful. I love the fact that you said you are very curious. Wow.
Yes, yes.
You said you are from Jamaica.
Oh,
Wagwan.
yes. Not now go on
Wow.
with my friend. I'm just there. I'm there with you up online and me a chat with you and tell you nice because guess what? We in at the house and we are going with things. Yeah.
Wow, welcome. The only Jamaican word I know is wagwan, and so
Well, not now go
yeah, so
on because they are chat.
yeah,
Two friend them just a go on do a thing.
please let's slow it down. Let's use the normal flow. Yeah, so good
Okay,
to have
it's
you
okay.
here, and so you were born in Jamaica.
Yes. Yes, I'm
Oh,
from a rural parish of St. Thomas. It's a coastal parish. And
okay.
yeah, that's where I'm from. I taught in Jamaica for 18 years. Then I decided that I needed to change. I needed to leave that box. Because sometimes you're in a space, you know when you have outgrown that space. And it's time to move
Yeah,
ahead. And I felt that it was that time in my life when I needed to leave that box and move ahead. So I had applied to schools in the US, Canada, England, but nothing worked out. And, I questioned God. I said, God, I don't know. I know I need to move, and you are pushing me to move, but
yeah,
where do you want me to go? And I got so
yes,
frustrated. I got so depressed over it. I got sick. But then I reached a point where I said, God, any door you open, I will walk through it. And one Sunday afternoon, I was home
yeah,
with my parents and I saw the ad in the
yeah.
paper about jobs in China. I was saying, China? It's not like
Oh,
America or Canada, it's a whole different level of
yes,
everything. Because what we see in the West about China, what they
yes.
show us, is not what it's actually like. Yeah.
Wow. So before
Hmm.
you even talk about you living, thinking of leaving your country, I'd like you to talk a little bit about Jamaica, life in Jamaica, and how, yeah, life in Jamaica, you experience how you grew up. I think you graduated in Jamaica, right? You
Hmm.
schooled
Hmm.
in
Yes,
Jamaica. Yeah.
everything.
Oh,
So Jamaica is tropical. It's usually very hot, but because I live on a coastal in a coastal area, the sea was always there,
yeah,
and I miss waking up in the morning and
yeah,
smelling the sea and hearing the ocean.
Wow.
We're an island, of course, so we're completely surrounded by the Caribbean Sea. And we
Wow.
have a rich history because we're colonized by so many people, the Spanish, French,
Yeah.
English. So our language, patois, is a
Yes.
mixture of all of those dialects. And we have so many different shades of people. We have people who look like Chinese, but they're Jamaicans. We have people who look like Europeans, but they're Jamaicans. We have people who look like me,
Wow.
but they're Jamaicans. And then we have the
Yeah.
different languages as depicted in the Caribbean. The Caribbean itself has like what, five languages: English,
Really?
French, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese. So we are all mixed up, and we have a rich history of slavery and abolition of slavery and
Yeah.
colonization and all of those. For Jamaica, we are native speakers because we're colonized by the British, and they
Oh,
controlled us for a very long time. We won our
yes.
independence in 1962, but our entire school system and our entire lives are replicas
Yes.
of the British system. What we learn in school depicts the British system. And even now, we still operate in some
With the
ways
British system.
under the
Yeah.
British rule, yes.
Oh wow. I'm so curious about Jamaica. I don't recently we had one holiday and the whole day I was just watching videos about Jamaica. I think with time I'll have you for another session to just talk about Jamaica. I love their coastal Negril. Like when I see those videos, I was like,
Dax, you
what?
need to come a yard with me. You need to come a yard.
Yeah.
You need to come on my yard. Because when I watch a video and when I come, there are two different things.
Yeah, so I really love much about Jamaica, and when I watched several videos about Jamaica, I felt so connected, and I could
Hmm.
find so many things related to Ghana: the food, the
Yes.
environment, the way of life, the
Hmm.
way they
Hmm.
love God, the way they like so many things in common. And yeah,
Hmm.
in future I'll have
Hmm.
you to talk only about Jamaica, Jamaican life and everything. So before
No
leaving
problem.
Jamaica, yeah, what triggered you to leave Jamaica? Is it that life was not that as you expected, or what to for you to think of leaving Jamaica?
But as I mentioned before, I felt that I had outgrown that area. I had gotten married, I had a son, I got divorced. I had
Yeah,
my education. I was well qualified. I had my house
yeah,
and everything. But then I knew that there was something more. And as I mentioned before, I'm
yeah,
always curious. Growing up as a
yes,
child, I always observed my mom. She's an avid reader. We always had
yeah,
books.
yes,
In my time, we had no TV. We only had radio. So we developed a vivid imagination, reading books. In the evenings, my sisters and I would play word games. We didn't have TV. We didn't have any other source of entertainment. So we learned to write stories. We learned to develop our own stories with different characters.
yes,
And our mom, she introduced us to the parish library, as early as possible. I remember joining the library at age 6 and picking my
wow,
first book,
so
and I was so ecstatic. And that was the start
wow,
of my journey in being curious, developing this curiosity to wonder what else is out there. And as I
yes,
read and my imagination grew, I wanted to find out more. I wanted to travel and see all these places and experience the culture and the scent and the scenery and the food. I wanted to immerse myself in these places. So books helped me to do that. And I'm an author. I
oh,
love reading. I write poetry. I'm always reading something because it's a habit now, developed
wait.
from childhood days.
So
So
are
I
you
wanted
saying
to
that?
explore the world.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting. So, are you saying
it's
that
okay.
you learned much about other world through the books?
Yes, 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 yes. Because I would
Oh,
spend most of my time in the library. At that time, of course, we had physical books, you know.
yeah,
But the library opened my imagination to so many different worlds, and I wanted to experience. I craved to know what else was out there, what else was outside this space that I
yeah,
existed in. I knew about my community, my country, the
yes,
Caribbean itself, but I wanted to venture out into new worlds and
something new.
yes, to learn something new. And when I heard about the job offerings in China, I was like,
Yes,
this seems interesting. Yeah. But my family thought I was crazy because they're saying, okay, go to the UK, you are qualified, go to
yes.
America. I've been to America a couple times. Go to Canada. Why China? That's on the other side of the world. But something pulled me to come to see what else. And I took the plunge. I came here in 2019 and my life,
Wait,
360
before you
degrees,
even,
bro, 360 degrees, entire
yeah,
change. Everything
before
changed
you,
for me.
yeah, wow, that's interesting. Before you even talk about coming to China, for you, you were very curious, so you were just okay to come to China. But then, before even coming to China, what did you know about China? Like, what did you know about China personally?
Well, my father loved karate movies. Okay,
Oh,
he loved
yeah.
watching Bruce Lee, Jackie
So
Chan, Jet Li, the Green
all those actors,
Ninja.
yeah,
He
yeah,
yes. So he you know in the time when we had cassettes, he would rent cassettes and put in the cassette
yes,
player, and we'd watch all these karate movies. That's
yes.
all I knew about China, that they had very rural and they knew karate. I didn't know anything else, but that's what I knew. And my dad, he used to exercise and he used to do all these moves that he saw in the movies.
Whoa, really
Yeah. And he
interesting.
used to teach me, but you know, being a girl, I was saying, why do I need to learn these moves? To defend
Yes.
yourself, of course, but he loved karate movies. And so I grew up watching all these scenes and I thought, wow, China, you know, seemed interesting. But again, what we see in the West is not what what really exists here. It's very different because we
So,
see a
what do you
rural
see in the
part of
West?
China. Go ahead.
What do you see in the West about China?
Again, we don't see the subways. We don't see the
Okay.
huge buildings and the magnitude of this place. We see just particular
Yeah.
places that look rural. Because when I was coming,
Okay.
my parents were asking me, do they have shops? Where will you sleep? What I mean, how will you find clothes to wear? How
Yeah.
will you communicate with us? Because we just didn't know that China was this vast empire. And
Yes.
again, they filter what we see in the West about places like this, and it was communist, and you are afraid to do anything, you can't go anywhere, and
Yes.
but I wanted to see for myself. Again, being curious. Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I'm sure from these kind of comments your parents and relatives were giving, they were so worried about you coming to China. Is there a point that they discouraged you or they didn't want you to come?
My mom, when I told her, Mom, I'm going to China, I told her after I had finished all the process because I knew that she would react this way. Her youngest baby, you know, because I'm the youngest.
Oh,
And
okay.
she said, why would you want to leave your home? You have a stable job, you're permanently employed, you have your own home, you can afford things
Yeah.
that people can't, you're middle class. Why would you want to leave? I said, Mom, I want to know what else is out there. And she was saying,
Yes.
why? Because my mom is a homebody. She's
Yeah, every
okay with
mother will
us
be
reading the
worried.
papers. Yes, and but why don't you just go to America? And I said, Mom, there's a huge world out there, and I want to know what else is out there for me. But she said, China is like the language. How will you eat? Where will you sleep? And I went to my
He-
dad and I said, Dad, I have to do this. I need to do this for me. And he said, go with my blessing.
wow.
Just go. See what else is out there. I think I'm more like him than my mom. We were always very close. He died in 2020. I miss him
Oh,
terribly. But
uh,
he gave me the push. And he told my mom, leave her alone, man. Make she go on, make she go on. Make she go and go see the world. So he gave me his blessing. And yeah,
yes.
here I am today.
Yeah, I think your mother deserve it. Why would she allow her only last daughter to leave her own country to a place of nobody, a land of where we don't know even much about? Yeah, every mother
Mm,
is supposed to do that. Yeah,
yeah.
as a caring mother and everything. But I think
Hmm.
that's are always curious and always trying to let us try several adventure. So finally, you were able to convince your mom to come to China. Before you even
Hmm.
coming to China, I you mentioned you've been to the US or other country. Were you how
Hmm.
was it your first time to leave Jamaica, or you traveled to different countries before coming to China?
Again, I'm the adventurous sort. I like
Yeah,
traveling. I started traveling in 2013. I've been to the
yeah.
US a couple of times. I just like going to new places, learning new
Oh, okay.
things, waking up in a different country. Um, and that's broadened my whole experience, my whole insight of who I am as an individual, as a woman, as a black woman.
Yeah,
Again, as a mother, because people don't expect you to, once you become a mother, you stay in your home, you wash, cook, clean, traditional, but I wanted more. And at
yes,
times I felt guilty for wanting more because so many women had settled. My sisters were mothers too, and they had settled in this nice domestic life. But
yes,
it just wasn't for me. Me never stay so. I know it does not bring me no joy. So I just say, myself, this now work.
yeah.
I decided to leave and go to broader areas. And no regrets doing that.
Oh, wow. So I'm sure you applied to the US and other countries. Is it that you didn't get an opportunity there? That is why you opted for China?
I don't know what happened. Again, I think it was just an act of faith because I had all the qualifications, I had everything there
Yes.
set, but every time I tried, the process fell through.
Oh,
And I
okay.
said, God, I don't understand. Um, so you direct me, you open the door that you want me to go through. And I didn't
Yeah.
expect that the process to, coming to China would be so easy. Everything just flowed
So
easily.
easily.
It didn't take me a long time to get my stuff ready. I was already qualified. I had this, I had that. I did my
Wow.
TEFL with ITT, and in no time, I went to the Chinese embassy and I got my visa. Everything just worked out. I didn't have much trouble at all, and I knew that God was in it. I knew that He was
Yes.
taking me into an unknown place. And it was scary. It was a very scary decision, leaving all that you know to move into a
Yes.
total different area. There's nobody. I knew nobody in China. Okay,
Yes.
nobody.
Yeah.
I didn't know the language. I didn't know how I would eat, sleep, what clothes would I wear because I'm a black woman
Yes.
and I'm tall, according to them, but I'm average. I'm just average in Jamaica, but to them I'm tall. I didn't know how I
Yeah.
was going to find clothes, food. I didn't know any of that. But
Yes.
I was determined, you know what? I don't want to live until I'm 50. Then I say to myself, I wish I had done this, or I wish
Yes.
I had done that. Let me do it and learn from it, because I don't believe in failure. I believe in lessons learned. I believe that there's no
Wow.
failure, just lessons learned. And you learn the lesson, you don't repeat the same issue. You move on, you
Yeah.
grow, you develop resilience, you build character and integrity, and
Yes.
you find the depth of who you are, and
Wow.
you rise, move ahead.
Wow. Then I must say you are very courageous and very bold because I could see that you were scared yourself personally. You were scared
Mhm,
because you didn't know so much coming to China, what to do, how to live, and everything. But then you took that
mhm,
bold decision. Wow, that's so wonderful. I think. Do you
mhm.
think sometimes in life, we don't have to know much about certain things? We need to just go with the flow from that experience, taking
Life,
that bold
yeah,
decision.
life begins outside your comfort zone, and what you
Wow.
tolerate, you won't change. And I had tolerated a lot of stuff in my life, and I reached a point where I said to myself, I need to change this. I cannot live in this
Wow.
box. And stepping out of my comfort zone, my familiar place, was where my
Yes.
life began. Really,
Wow. This
I didn't know that I
this
would
is
be
so
doing any of this 7 years ago. I didn't see myself doing any of this 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Life begins outside your comfort zone, but you have
this is
to
so powerful.
do it afraid. Do it afraid, but do it.
Wow.
Fear is a part of the process of growing. Do it afraid, but do it nonetheless.
Wow. This is the most powerful. I've always heard of let us leaving our comfort zone, but you have framed
Mm.
it in a nice and sweet way. Life begins out of your comfort zone. This is
Mhm,
so powerful. Now, you said in 2019 you came to
mhm,
China.
mhm,
Wow. Your first experience, your first week in
mhm.
or first time in China. How was it?
Ah, when I came here, it was the food, the scent, the
Yes.
atmosphere, culture shock. But I said to myself, well, Jen, you're here now, so what's your next move?
Yeah.
I was placed in a rural school. I taught in a senior high school, and in that community is very rural. And I remember going
Oh,
out, to know the neighborhood, to take a little walk. And
yes.
as I walked, I realized people, the cars had stopped, people had stopped, people were like, and I was like, okay, I'm taking a walk. It's a nice day. It's wonderful. But then there
Yes.
were people rushing, and you know what I mean? And they were screaming and they were touching me all over. And I was saying to
Really?
myself, why are you touching? Because I don't know the language. And, I had
Yeah,
practiced some
yeah,
Chinese
yeah,
before I came, of course, but nothing like this.
yeah.
And I went into this store, and I went through the back door, and I went back home. It was too much. So I called my colleague, my supervisor, and I said to her, "This happened to me today." And she said, "Jen, you should have said something to me, because
Yeah.
it's a very rural community and you're the first black person they've ever
Black.
seen in real life.
Yes.
Plus, you are a woman alone walking in the community." And I was saying, but this is the 21st century. I mean, this is not like
They were just touching you,
1950s.
your head.
Because, yeah, and then when I went to school, the kids, the first time I went into my classroom, they just screamed like for 10 minutes, screaming and ecstatic. And I was saying, get a hold of yourself. I'm just a woman. I'm a black woman. Yeah. So, and they were like, "Is this your real hair? Is this your real skin? Are you real?" And I was saying, "I'm standing right here. Of course, I'm real." And it took me a while to get used to it, but I got
Yeah.
used to being stared at. People would take your photographs. They wouldn't ask you any questions. They just come, take your photograph, smile, and they left. They would just touch my skin. Is it gonna come off? It is, I said, no, it's permanent. It's not gonna come off. It's there to stay. And I didn't stay too long in the sun. All of me is like this. I'm brown, I'm chocolatey, I'm black, so I have, I
Yeah.
have that shape. I'm a Jamaican woman, right? So I have bum and everything.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're so different. Even my Chinese colleagues, one day a teacher said to me, your body moves when you move. And I said to her,
Your body
I'm
moves.
moving because, yes, I'm voluptuous, you know?
Yeah.
So I said, as I just said, said to her, I'm black. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's full stop, period. So it
Wow.
took me a long while to get used to being stared at, touched. People would walk across the street when they saw me. My kids at school, wow, they
Oh,
loved seeing me. They loved hearing me, touching my hair. All of my classes were just wonderful. I had a great time at that school, and I remember the geography teacher. She asked me
yeah.
the first week, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from Jamaica." And she said, "Where
Yes.
is that?" And I'm saying in my mind, "You teach geography." I said to
But you
her,
don't
"It's
know
in the
Jamaica. Where's
Caribbean.
Jamaica?
It's in
Yeah.
the Caribbean, right? You teach geography. Where is the Caribbean?" She was like, "I've never heard of that place before." So I
Wow.
had to take out my map and show her, this is the
What
Caribbean.
Jamaica is.
Yes, and this
Yeah.
little spot there, that's Jamaica. Yes. So I had to give her a little lesson, geography lesson.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like that.
Wow.
People always ask, where's Jamaica? And I always said, Usain Bolt, yes, the fastest man on earth. That's where I'm
Yeah.
from. Yeah, that same place, right there. So. And
Yeah.
they were like,
Wow.
Usain Bolt, do you know him? I said, I don't really know
Both.
him. I'm just from a certain country. So it was
Wow.
really strange. But the food was strange. But knowing me, black women, we cook our own food, right? So I
Yes.
cooked my own meals, and but I loved walking. I loved the scenery. I loved the seasons, especially spring.
Yeah.
I loved riding the subway. I just loved everything about it.
Yeah.
And
Before you even
then COVID showed
continue,
up.
yeah, before you even continue, I would like to ask much about the touching. How was your first feeling? Like, I think that was very new and strange to you. How did you react, and how was the feeling? Your first time seeing people touching you, laughing, being strange, touching your skin to see whether their skin will be black. How was the feeling?
I was scared. I was scared because I didn't know why they were touching me.
Yeah,
I knew that it was not the 1950s, 1940s. Black people are everywhere. But it was
yeah,
just so strange for them to see someone walking on the street that didn't look like them. And then I'm walking alone. And for women here, it's strange for to see a woman unprotected because the men
yeah,
tend to cover the women. And I'm here
yeah,
single and I'm by myself. And my colleagues would always
yes,
say, where's your husband? Where's your child?
yeah,
Who are you here with? And I would say, I'm here by myself. I took the plane by myself and I'm here by myself. And they would say, you're so strange. Are the
yeah,
women in your country like you? And I said, yes, We go wherever we want to go. We take the plane, bus, wherever. We travel to different
Yeah.
places. It's normal, but because I got to learn the culture that they are group oriented,
Yes.
whereas we are big on individuality and
Yeah.
fostering our own strengths and ideals. They are more fitting in when we are more standing out. We stand out wherever we go.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
That's
different.
very
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I can really relate. I remember when I first arrived, they were asking me, Only you sat in an airplane to come to China from
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Africa? How's that possible? That was, it sounded funny to me. It was later on
Mm-hmm.
that I understood that to them, it's not, they find it so strange to see somebody travel far away from their family, from their
Mm-hmm.
parents, like having decisions on their own and everything. So it was very funny to me at the beginning, but I was like, oh, later on I understood why um, that sounded that way. For how about the food? You said you found the food to be strange, the smell and everything. How is it now? After several years in China, how do you like Chinese food? And
Well, as you know, Jamaica again is a melting pot of culture and spices and seasoning. We
yeah,
love lada Thai, we love spices. Everything has to
yeah,
be hot for us, well seasoned. We cook our meat, well
yeah.
seasoned, everything.
Same as Ghana, I think. Yeah,
Yes, coming here, everything was just bland and watery, and the vegetables were always soaked in something,
yeah,
and I didn't know what I was eating. So I quickly learned. I went to the store and bought food, potatoes, carrots,
yeah,
vegetables, and I started, doing my own cooking because it just seemed strange. My palate wasn't familiar with those tastes. But
yeah.
over
Kind
the
of food.
years, I've learned to appreciate their cuisine, and
Yes,
I like particular dishes. I don't like everything, but I can go out to a restaurant, order my own food, make sure I order a lot of Thai,
yeah.
and I enjoy a lot of their stuff now. It's just that I still cook for myself because I know my particular flavor that I want.
Oh, yeah. So can you say that for now you are really used to Chinese food and you like them so much after several years
I
since
am.
2019?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm used to it. Again, there are certain things that I will not eat, but on
Okay.
a whole, I enjoy a variety of dishes.
Wow. How did that story change from the point that you didn't like Chinese food and now you are used to and you like some food? How did you manage to adjust to that?
Well, my colleagues and I, we usually go out every weekend. They would take
Yes.
me places all over the place, and then of course I had to eat Chinese food. So after a while, I
Yeah.
developed a certain likeness for particular dishes, especially
Yeah.
those dishes that were spicy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
although it's not our kind of spicy, but I liked it, and so my friends would take me out to the malls, to different towns and cities, and we'd have a wonderful
Yeah.
time. So again, yeah, being here,
Oh.
you develop a likeness for certain dishes. Yeah.
So I can say that probably because you were hanging out with most Chinese, that made
Mm-hmm.
you become
Yeah.
used to the Chinese food. Yeah. So if anybody
Yeah.
wants to become used to the system, their food and everything, it's only when they hang out with Chinese then they can
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
become used to. Oh, that's cool. So how about the language barrier? How is your Chinese now?
My Chinese is still poor, not that poor though, but I have been practicing. I'm at
Yeah.
HSK too. Yeah,
Oh,
but I think My biggest problem is my tones because I
Yeah.
don't speak other languages. Like you in Ghana, you speak a lot of different languages, so
Oh
your
yeah.
whole
Yeah.
structure, you're already familiar with tones and all that. I grew up under a
Yeah.
British system, so it's taken me a longer time. Whenever I speak Chinese, I sound weird, even though I
Yeah.
know the how to do it, the grammar and all that. I sound weird. I still
How
sound
did you know
weird.
you
So
sound weird? How do you know you sound weird?
my kids are always laughing at me. Jenny, what are you saying? And I said, you know what I just said? And they're always saying, and they're like, say it this way. And I practice with them. I practice with my kids. Um,
Yeah.
and but I still sound weird. But I'm not where I
Yeah.
was before. I can move around, order my own stuff, go anywhere I want to go, really. I can travel around and all of that.
So, what will you tell someone who is worried or concerned about the language barrier? How is life like without being able to speak Chinese language? Do you have several challenges? Maybe when you go somewhere and
Hmm.
because of language barrier or something, how is it like?
Be open minded. Be open minded to
Okay.
learn because you're living in a new environment. And to survive, you need to learn the language, you need to learn the culture, you need to know how to move around, how to operate for your own success. Be open minded to
Yeah.
learning new things. So language is just one of those areas in the world. We now live in a global village where
Yes.
we are exposed to so many different languages and culture and lifestyle. Be open minded. Be ready to learn new things, ready to learn new languages, and of course, try. Just try it. My son is here with me now, and he's learning Thai, Japanese, his Chinese
Wow.
is great, and I don't know. He just he loves languages. I don't. He has been practicing his Thai for a long time.
Yeah.
So be open-minded to these things. Yeah.
Wow, I'm happy you said your son is very good at Chinese now. But you earlier on mentioned that Jamaicans you have only one common language and all those things. Probably that's why you couldn't learn the language. So comparing you and your son, probably it's not because of that. Maybe you didn't really have the interest to learn the Chinese language, or maybe you had your environment, you had teachers who could speak English or something that didn't push you to learn the language. What do
Yes,
you
that's
think
true.
is the
Because yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I think so too. Because most of my colleagues speak English, so I'm not. I don't need to really speak Chinese
yeah,
unless I go out into the city and stuff like that. And if I go out into the city, I can communicate efficiently so that I don't get lost. I know where to ask for the
yeah,
train. I know what to do. Just the basic stuff, getting around, ordering food, that kind of thing.
yes,
So, but I don't really need to learn it to the depth, of how
yeah,
some persons need to learn it because I teach English. So I
yeah,
don't need to speak Chinese to my kids. I need to teach them to speak English. So, but I do practice because
yeah.
I do intend to pass this on to my son for him to learn and to become a global citizen as well. And Mandarin is a huge, it's difficult, but
Yeah.
many persons now are gravitating to learning Mandarin.
Wow. So yeah, for you are supposed to teach English language. So it makes sense because you are not supposed to be very good at Chinese. I'm just thinking of how teaching would be like. at the beginning, how was teaching like? Because you couldn't speak Chinese, you were teaching English. How at some point where you are teaching kids like they don't get it, how do you try to make them understand what you are trying to say? I don't know if you get what
First
I'm
of
trying
all,
to ask. Yeah.
I have a TA. I have a
Oh,
Chinese
okay.
TA, and these
Okay.
TAs, they know a little bit of English.
Okay.
And then when I'm teaching, I usually use a lot of graphics and nonverbal communication kind of stuff
Yes.
with my kids, a lot of songs. And let me tell you, children are intelligent. For my second job, I taught at a primary school, I taught
Yes.
grade two. And when I just went to that school, the kids, they were terrified of me, of course. They didn't know what to do. But then the within 5 minutes, children know if they can trust you, yes or no. They
Oh,
have that
wow.
intuition about them. Yes. So when I stand in my classroom and I
Yes.
look at them, even though I'm speaking a different language, they
Yeah.
look at my facial expression, my body language, they look at
Yeah.
me, and they decide within that 5 minutes if they can trust me, yes or no.
Yeah.
My colleagues at other school, they would always ask, how come our children understand you? You are not speaking the same
Exactly.
language. I said, you don't. Children are very smart. They read your body language. They
Wow.
know when you mean this or when you mean that. And again, I'm very expressive. So I don't have to speak the exact words for them to move, or for them to know what to do, because I use
Yeah.
all of these skills, nonverbal
Actions.
skills, to get
Yes.
them to understand. And they do very well. They did quite well. And nobody was like, how do you do that? How do they understand you?
Yeah.
But again, we communicate in so many different ways, not just verbally, but non-verbally, and body
Oh,
language,
yeah.
cues,
That's true.
gestures. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so good. Then, meaning from what you said, you didn't face much challenge as I was thinking, because if you are unable to speak Chinese, and sometimes I feel like if you want to explain something to people, the students, maybe you need some little Chinese, but then you had TA too. So I think the
Mm-hmm.
environment was more conducive for you to teach
Mm-hmm.
the kids. So I know how Chinese kids are
Yeah.
sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
they are very worrying and disturbing and all those things. So is there a point where you felt so worried and sad due to the children's reaction, especially at the early stage where they used to touch you and all those things?
I knew that they were curious, and I
Yeah.
remember one of my students buying me a suntan lotion. She said, Jenny, you need to use this. And I said,
Notion.
honey, I understand, but I didn't stay in the sun. Okay, it's not a something. This is me. Okay, it's not gonna come off. And she looked at me puzzled, and I said, this is me, all of me. And I explained to her that there are many different people in the world and different ethnic groups and shades.
Yeah.
And because one thing I realized early on is that these people, they lived as if they were in a bubble. They didn't know a
Yeah.
lot about the outside world.
Yeah.
They, for many of them, they still don't. So
Yeah.
I picked it up that they really don't know a lot about outside cultures and people, and all of that. So I had to explain to them, the whole world
Yeah.
is mixed up. Hello, the whole world is mixed up. All right, we're all
Yeah.
one big mixing pot. So, but many of them will never leave China to venture outside, so they won't see the different ethnic groups that
Yeah.
exist. Because when I just came here, a person was saying, America, UK has only white people. And I said, no, UK has so many different types of people. They said,
Yeah.
what? I said, yes. And Australia too, and the US. Go to the US, you are in a entire like a culture pot with so many different
Yeah.
people. So they are sheltered in ways, in
Yeah.
terms of what they're exposed to from the outside world. So I had to understand that and know how to approach certain issues
Yeah.
and topics, because as a black woman we talk about everything: hair,
Yeah.
clothes, children, family life, marriage.
Yeah.
These topics, they don't discuss that. I'll be in the staff
Yes.
room with my colleagues and all they do is work. And I'm saying, don't you guys talk about anything else than work? What about your hobbies? Have you gone on a date? Or like, hmm? I'm saying, yes, the man that you marry, the one you have a child for him, he exists. And they're like, you don't talk about those things, Jenny. And I was
Yeah.
like, girl, he's your husband. Not like you're shacking up. He's your husband.
Yeah.
So they're always working, 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 printing this, marking papers. And I'm like, okay, all right. So it took me a while to get used to that kind of
I just do that.
culture.
Well,
And
yeah.
yeah, hmm,
y- you
yeah,
mentioned ignorance. I personally, I knew little about China through Chinese movies before coming to China. So when I came at the early stage, I was so surprised that they are
hmm,
so ignorant of so many things. At what
yeah,
point did you know that they
sheltered.
are? Yeah. At what point did you also know that they are so ignorant?
The first time I went into the city and they started to touch me and take pictures of me. This is my
Yeah.
face, this is my body. You don't have the right to take a picture of me without my permission. If you were in
Yeah.
the West, I could sue you for that, but they don't know what suing is anyway. So you
Yeah.
don't touch my body without my permission. This is my body. You're in my personal space.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. So we don't do this. I need to give you
Yeah.
permission to come into my personal space. But they just come take a picture, touch my hair, and they're gone. I said, you didn't even ask. You didn't even say hi,
Yeah.
nothing. And then, so it took me a while to understand that they're very sheltered in terms of socialization skills, having a
Yeah.
normal conversation. And they're so shy. And again, it's
Yeah.
it's how they're socialized, because their women are taught to be nice and kind and quiet and pale and
Yeah.
small and obedient. And we are taught to be strong and bold and
Wow.
assertive. And we wear our hair in different styles all the time.
Yes.
A whole different culture, entirely different perspective of how woman should be and what was beautiful. And I would say,
Yes.
I'm beautiful. And I had students who were little on the round side girls, and they would be at the back of the class. And I would say,
Yeah.
come to the front. And they said, no, 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 I'm not pretty. They would tell me,
Yeah.
I'm not
Lack of
beautiful, I'm
confidence.
too fat, I'm
Yeah.
ugly. And I said, you
Yeah.
never say that you're ugly. Look at you, you're beautiful. And they would, no, Jenny. And I would say, you are beautiful, you are wonderful. You don't have to look like everyone else. You're an
Yes.
individual. And it took them a while to appreciate that part of me that
Accept.
says, yeah, my female colleagues, I would say, you're sexy. They said, no, I'm not sexy. I'm not sexy. And I would say, yes, girl, you're sexy. You're beautiful. Look at your hair and stuff. They said, no, Jenny,
Yeah.
no, 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 I'm not sexy at all. So I had to get used to that and
Yeah.
being able to communicate to them that you are an individual. You don't need to look like anyone else. You define your own beauty. If you say you're
Yeah.
beautiful, then you're beautiful. And Who cares what you think? I don't have to be
Exactly.
small, thin, pale, anorexic to look beautiful. I'm an individual. I have my own identity. Again, culture and socialization.
Yeah.
If so it took me a while to get used to that, but now I appreciate where they're coming from and how they view being beautiful, how they view success, how they view work,
Yes.
and their core values and all of that. And I had to respect those and respect their spaces, knowing
Yeah.
that this is how they operate.
Yeah.
And I adjusted and I adapted some of their ways because now I think I'm a workaholic. But yeah, I'm beginning to respect the discipline that they have and the way
Yeah.
they deal with their work and their ethics and
Yes.
their lifestyle, how they take care of their elderly, how they take care of their families and their
Yes.
children. I really respect that about them.
Wow. Their family values. That is one thing I
Mhm.
also really cherish about Chinese people. Like they have strong family relation. Like you could see grandparents taking care of their
Yeah. Hmm.
grandchildren. Even
Hmm.
the mothers are not supposed to do anything, and during Chinese New Year, they all try to go back home, no matter where they are. They
Yes,
try to
yes,
go back
yes, yes.
home to visit and all
Hmm.
those things. I was like, wow, this is so wonderful. But
Hmm.
you personally,
Family structure.
you were lucky to work in the working space. What do you think has really helped them advance so much in terms of in their working space? What do you think, what kind of qualities are found in them that has made them advance their country to this extent that even the Western world do not believe?
Discipline. And to some extent,
Yeah.
they're not driven by emotions. They do what they need to do.
What do you mean by they are not driven by emotions?
For us, I don't like this, I say it. I don't like this and I don't want to do it
Yeah.
anymore. And I'm not going to
Yeah.
stay here and do this. For them,
Yeah.
it's about allegiance, loyalty, family, discipline. It isn't about emotions. And if you like
Okay.
it, yes or no, you are expected to perform this duty, you do it.
Yes.
And so that's the way they operate. They are
Yeah.
not, I don't want to do this. They don't get angry about certain things. Like
Yeah.
how they drive on the street. In my country,
Yes.
if you get in an accident, it's like, yes, make a peer war, a war. But here, I see them in
Yeah.
an accident and they're like, "Hi, how are you doing today? Long time no see. Yeah, you hit my car, you know. You really? Yes. How's your grandmother?" I'm like, these people are strange people. But then
Yeah.
I got used to it. So the emotional part of it is they just do what they need
Yeah.
to do. Um, and they move accordingly. If they have a job to do, they accomplish it in time, and So they're very, very disciplined, and in terms of their family structure and culture, they are committed and they are loyal to their social cohesion and
Yes.
building the next generation and passing on values so that their culture would not die in the next few generations. They are very serious about that. They don't get married for love per se, or for passion. They get married
Yeah.
for the continuity of their lineage. And
Yes.
it doesn't matter if I like you or not. We are married. We're gonna have kids, and that's the end of that, right? So
Yeah.
this is how most of them operate, and I kind of respect that too, and because it keeps the family unit together, and
Yeah.
it keeps the society in a balance, in a peaceful balance, in terms of there's no crime, there's no like that, and people there's people are just living in harmony. They are
Yeah.
quiet, they exercise, they live in an harmonized kind of environment, and I really appreciate that about them.
Wow. You came in the year 2019. So, did
Mm.
you ever imagine to stay this long? That has been about 5 years
I
now.
didn't.
What
Ah,
what
I
what
didn't.
what
But
is
then,
taking you here?
wow. Well, again, um, I completed my MBA, and through my MBA, I learned coaching skills, and I decided to go into coaching.
Yeah.
And after that, I found joy in the places here, in the culture, in the cities. I found that my whole thought processes had changed, and I evolved in terms of my
Yeah.
work ethics, my emotional quotient. I just
Yeah.
took on a different, I didn't know I had it within me before, but this place
Yeah.
brought it out of me. And I learned that I had different skills, and I wanted to explore those
Wow.
skills and expand those skills. And so I became a certified life coach. I'm ICF certified. I began writing my own books. I am a writer. I have written and
Wow.
published 3 books. I'm a
Wow.
mentor, trainer, speaker, all of those. And it's as a result of me deciding to stick it out. Because I had friends who
Yeah.
went back home, and I said, I am not going back home. I want to know what's here. I want to know what else is in me. I want to know the depths of my identity. And
Yes.
certain points were very difficult for me, being a
Yes.
black single woman here. But then it's something that comes with territory of moving out of your comfort zone. You have to deal with so many different issues. But I know who
Yeah.
I am, and I know that I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm expanding, and I'm curious, and I want to know who I'm becoming, and I want to stick it out. I want to see. So I may be here for a long time. Yeah, it's great. I can
Wow.
definitely see myself living here for a long time, um, being with these people. Yeah, it's great just living here and being immersed in the culture and everything that comes with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's so powerful and that's so brave. You mentioned you even had several friends who left. I personally, I had some classmates like we came here, they left even at the early stage. They couldn't manage the cultural differences and the way of life and everything. I'm sure you also faced several difficulties. Was there a point staying in China that you wanted to just leave the country?
Several several moments, several times I said that this is not
Really?
for me. This is not going to work, especially again, being a black woman in this kind of environment, because
Yeah.
the idea of colored people, we're not intelligent enough, we're not smart enough, we're not just not enough. And I've
Yeah.
had to work in environments where persons thought that I didn't have an opinion, I didn't have a brain, I'm not intelligent because I am not
Oh, really?
Caucasian. And those experiences made me at one point I was saying, this right here,
Yes.
I'm done. I'm done. It's not working out. So, but then I said to myself, this is
Yeah.
developing resilience in you. It's helping you to grow. And you have to understand where they're coming from. They haven't been exposed to people like you, and you're very vocal and bold,
Yeah.
so it takes a little while to get used to seeing you and who you are. But again, it comes
Yeah.
down to your identity. Coming into a place like this, you have to know who you are. You have to
Yeah.
be centered in This is me. Unapologetically me. This a me. Me not change for no man. Right? So I had to adapt that. I had to become harder, become more
Yeah.
resilient. And I face it every day, even now. But at the end of the day, I
Yeah.
am who I am. I'm not going to change for you. And I'm independent, I'm intelligent, I'm bold, all of those. I'm talented. I don't need your affirmations, I don't need your validations. I
Yeah.
know who I am, I know what I stand for. And if you can't manage my space, then that's what it
Yeah.
is,
Wow.
because I'm not
Yeah.
gonna, yes, I will modify in certain circumstances, but I'm not gonna diminish my light because it threatens your darkness. I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
that. You need to come up to my level or get out of my space. It's as simple as that. I'll work with you, but if you continuously do this and put me
Yeah.
down, I'm gonna just say to you, listen, this now work, it does not work. So come out of my face
Wow.
or just back off. Let me do my job. You do your job, I do my job. We live happily. I go home. Okay? And that's
Wow.
it. Because I'm not gonna offend my color. This is me. I didn't choose to be this color, but I am this color.
Yeah.
And so I'm not gonna tone, I'm not gonna bleach. I am a black,
Yeah.
bold woman, Jamaican woman. And I am not going to diminish myself to suit your weaknesses and your restrictions and incapabilities. So I adjust, I adapt,
Yeah.
but I still hold firmly to who I am.
You are. Wow. That's
Yeah.
so powerful. I feel like you had so much confidence and you knew who you really were, because some point when you face this kind of should I say racism or this type, if you don't really trust yourself, have that confidence, I don't think you can manage or handle certain situations.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There are several instances that I've heard that even sometimes you are unable to get job opportunities because your skin color is black in
Yes. Yeah.
China
Hmm.
and everything.
Yeah.
Have you faced some of them before?
I have. I have. But then I said to myself, I can allow this to break me or make me.
Yeah.
And so I'm always learning new skills. I'm upskilling continuously. I have several
Yeah.
degrees, several certifications. So it's difficult at times,
Yes.
but this is who I am. And if you don't want me, you are operating at a loss. It's your loss. It's your
Yeah.
loss because who you're taking in can never do what I do.
Yeah.
There's nobody who can do what I do. And you're taking in somebody who's unqualified, who doesn't have the experience that I do, that I have. Come and teach your kids. In the next 10, 20 years, that child will be unable to operate in a global atmosphere because they have not developed certain skills. And it's going to be your
Yeah.
loss, right? So I settled the question. I'm okay. I continuously learn, upskill. I'm always upskilling. Yeah,
Wow. So will you advise other black teachers in China to always upgrade their skills? They shouldn't just
of course,
yeah.
definitely. Definitely. I am a mentor. I mentor new teachers who are coming into China, and I'm always giving them information about sessions that they can upskill, hone your
Yeah.
craft, whatever you do, upskill, learn new things because knowledge is changing every day. Now we have AI and everything is changing. So
Changing.
be flexible, be able to adapt, and always, always reach further, reach for something more. because there is always something more out there to learn, to grasp, to grow, to develop who you
Wow.
are as an individual, because we are global citizens. We are
Yeah.
global citizens, and you need to be able to go into any country, any atmosphere, and be able to thrive.
Adjust the environment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
adjust, build, grow, and thrive in those environments.
Wow. You mentioned you're a life coach to most teachers coming to China. That is a very good initiative. I feel like before somebody even comes to work in China, the person has to prepare the mind, know certain things so that
Yes.
it's a very great initiative that you have started. So how can somebody reach you in case they need such kind of service? If somebody is coming to China and the person needs that kind of service.
Well, I'm available on WeChat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. I'm there. My cards are in the communities. I'm in various communities because my business, I have a registered business. It's called Activate Core. And a part of that
Okay.
business is the mentorship program that I have. And
Yeah.
I have a website, Transform Global Services at podia.com.
Yeah.
And you can reach out to me
Yeah.
there. I have the Transforming Lives Coaching Center at gmail.com. You can contact me there also. And again, the mantra for my business is building bridges, transforming lives. So I build
Wow.
bridges across various communities. I'm a connector of people,
Yeah.
organizations. I'm in a lot of different communities. I network with a lot of people. I believe in partnerships. I believe in creating synergy in communities. And I believe in the development of people, the
Yeah.
holistic development of people. So, along with my
Wow.
life coaching skills, I have webinars, podcasts, I have a blog, I have
Interesting.
major events coming up, a virtual book tour, and all of these are geared towards developing people and moving to new areas and new realms in their lives and expanding and thriving. Yeah.
Wow, that's so powerful. So I'll put a link in the description box so that if anybody wants to reach you, if you want to come to China, or even I feel like going to any part of the world, this kind of coaching is so useful. I feel
Yeah.
like there are some coachings that if I had earlier on, I'll not go through some challenges coming to China or even elsewhere. Wow, that's so powerful. Another thing that I'm so curious about is relationship. I don't know if you are okay to share that, but then um you came as a single mom, so beautiful, with all the qualities, something different from the Chinese and everything. How was it like? Were the Chinese men coming and like yeah, tell us something. I'm so curious about that.
No, they would just look at my body and
Yeah,
they're scared really. They're kind of scared because their women are supposed to be nice and coy and quiet and
yeah,
needy, need the men to protect them and all that. I am nothing like that. So
yeah,
um I think they're just scared to have a woman like me because I'm just different and they're not
yeah.
used to people like me. Yes, so dating, I have not dated since I've been here. Uh, Zero relationships. But it's okay because I'm committed toward, my career and my son, building my business.
Yeah.
Maybe in the
Wow.
future I'll meet someone, that's in the, that's it's there,
Yeah.
but it's not like very, very important to me right now.
I see. Wow. Interesting. You yourself, you know personally that they are very shy. Probably there's somebody who's very
Yes.
interested, but the person needs you to do maybe some approach or something. Wow. are you willing to, what is stopping you to approach if you like someone, or probably you've not seen anyone that you think maybe.
Well, again, maybe it's just, I don't move out around a lot physically.
Yeah,
So I haven't had the opportunity to meet a lot of men or eligible men. And
yeah,
those that I know now, they're either married or they're too young or they're just,
yeah,
emotionally
yeah,
unavailable
yeah,
or gay or something. So no, so I have limited experience in terms of going out there and
yeah,
dating and all that. Um, to some level, that I don't think I'm ready for that kind of thing. And
yeah,
on other levels, I think yes, I would like to journey to partner with someone because I believe in partnerships. So this
yes,
person must become my partner, and to journey together into different realms. And
yeah,
again, for me to be attracted to a man, he has to approach me intellectually. I'm not into the flash or the body. Yes, I like
yeah,
looking at nice men and all that, but have a conversation with me. Talk about politics
yes,
or global warming, something. Challenge me intellectually, okay?
yeah,
I'm not into your car, I'm not into your body, your workout, whatever, your clothes. Those things are great. I look at your hands, yes, but if you are just
wow. I
normal,
I
then
see.
I don't have anything to
I
do with you.
I see. Interesting. I personally,
In our
before coming to
Jamaican,
China, okay, yeah, yeah, you finish in
in our
Jamaica,
Jamaican dialect,
yeah.
you have to come good. You have to come good or not come at all.
Oh,
You understand?
you have
Yeah.
to come good.
You have
Repeat
to
that
come
again. I
good.
didn't.
You
Oh,
have
okay.
to come good or not come
You
at
have to.
all.
Okay. I have to
So
practice
if
this
you
many
want
times.
a woman like me, you have to
Yeah.
come good. You
Oh,
understand?
oh. Yeah, I got it now. Wow, that's so
I'm just
that's
putting
so
it like
interesting.
that.
Yeah. Me before coming to China, I used to say, wow, if I get to China, I'd like to date a Chinese girl. Like I was so happy about that. I would like to date a Chinese girl. That is what I have. But when I arrived in China, then when I just had some one, two friends, like I never had that feeling again to even have any Chinese girl as a girlfriend because of the way of life, how they treat their girlfriends. I felt like it's like taking her as a god or something. Like that wasn't something that I could manage.
Mm,
Like I was like, no,
culture.
this is just
Hmm.
yeah. So for you personally, do you have something like that? Like I personally, I know that definitely I don't think there will be any Chinese who can really attract me to that extent to have a Chinese girlfriend. So I know possibly for
They're
me,
scared.
it's never possible. How about you? Do you have that kind of mindset as I do?
It may happen or it may not happen. Again, I haven't moved in many circles, so I don't really know. But what I've seen so far, they don't really venture outside of their communities that much. Of course, there are more biracial marriages happening now,
Yeah.
but again, you have to come good. You have to come good. You have to come good. Simple.
Oh wow. I love your mindset. For you, you are still open-minded, not like me. For me, I know that there's nobody who can come good like a Chinese to me. That is you. But
It's
from
different
how I see,
for black men. Yeah, it's different for black men because many women of different races always like our black men. But so it's different for men.
oh yeah, That's true. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so how about religion of worship, like coming to China and your worship? There are most people who are not religious people. How are you able to? Yeah, somebody's watching from say watching live from Ghana. I'm enjoying the Jamaican
Yeah,
bits.
that's great. Yeah. Um, at first, I would go, I lived in Hangzhou for about 2 years. I used to attend
Yeah,
church there. Um, it was good, but it didn't have the feel because I'm from Jamaica, which, our churches are lively. We dance, we sing, we
yeah.
lots of music and stuff. And I come in there, and it's like, okay, adjust. So now I just visit, I go to church online because where
Yeah.
I'm at, I'm in Juji now, and they're not open to foreigners. The church is here,
Okay.
so I stay home. And if I do go to Hangzhou, I will go to church there. But otherwise, I do everything online, virtually. But
Oh,
my love for God has deepened. My relationship with Him has, it has grown tremendously as I mature in faith, launching out into the deep with
yeah.
my coaching practice and business and these webinars and podcasts and all of that. I trust Him to guide me and to protect me as I go. And I believe I'm stronger now in my faith than when I was back home. Again, leaving your familiar area, your territory, you get to
Yeah.
learn more about yourself and where you really stand in terms of your faith. So my
Yeah.
faith has grown, especially during the pandemic. I lost my dad in April of
Oh,
2020, and it
sorry.
shook my whole world. And that's when I began to write, to journal, and I found healing and comfort through that. And
Wow.
I continue to grow and mature as a Christian.
Oh, wow. My condolences for the loss of your dad. How was that feeling like? I don't intend to remind you of the sorrow or sadness, but how was that feeling like? There are certain times that I even dream of me losing a relative, and just a dream, and the feeling is always very bad. I have several instances where I have friends who just hear news of them losing their relative and everything. This is one thing that sometimes I'm really worried about, being far away. How was the feeling about, and how did you handle that bad news? Hearing losing your dad, being far away.
It was devastating. My father and I were very close. As I said to you before, he gave me the blessing to come here. And
Yeah.
I wasn't able to attend his funeral service. So I began to write, and my first book is called My Father's Heart. I
Wow.
committed it to him. Um, I still mourn his loss, and grief is continuous. But I have come to the point where I found solace and peace in releasing him, knowing that he
Yeah.
loved me and he's proud of me. Going out there, venturing out
Wow.
there, being bold enough to take a step outside of our world and to learn new things. And I know that he's applauding me even now, seeing these initiatives and all of that. And I honor him. I honor his memory because he was a very bold, strong individual, very loud. And I think I have his
Yeah.
personality because I have never been shy in my entire life. My mom is a
Yeah.
shy, introverted person. I'm an extrovert. And
Yeah.
so I'm like him in various ways. We are always out there and learning new things. He likes traveling as well.
Yes.
And so I miss him terribly. We miss him. But then we know that he had lived a good life. He had lived long enough to see us grown. He had lived in
Yeah.
long enough to see his grandchildren and spent his late years, comfortable.
Yeah.
So we are proud of that, that he got a good send off. We call it send off, funeral. But
Yes. Yes.
we honor his memory. We honor his memory.
Wow, that's so powerful. What advice will you give to, especially for you? I would say you are an adult, you are more matured as compared to people who come here at a very young age as students, bachelor students, and them hearing this kind of news. Sometimes when I hear this kind of news, I just don't know how to even help these kind of people. What advice will you give to these kind of people or anybody who has traveled elsewhere and they face this kind of news? Imagine traveling far away, about 2 years, you've not seen your dad, only to hear this kind of news. How?
Yeah. Take the time you need to mourn. Take the time you need to work through those emotions and find the healing that you need. Everyone grieves differently.
Yeah,
So there's no 7 steps that you need to follow to say this is the way you grieve. You know,
yeah,
grief is very personal. So take the time that you need to honor the memory of your loved one, honor the good memories. Look at the time that you had spent together and celebrate their lives, celebrate their achievements, celebrate the presence in your life
yeah,
and how they have impacted your life. And know that it's not the end because we live on. We live on, and this is just a phase, a door to another life. And yes, we miss them, but then we
yeah,
celebrate, we honor their memories, and we are happy that, listen, hey, I knew you, you were in my life, and
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Wow. Yeah, that's so powerful. Thanks for sharing. So let's I would like us to talk more about China now before we are getting to the end of this interview. If we
Mm.
if we joke, we will not finish today. I'm really
Me, I
enjoying
tell
the
you,
conversation. So you've lived in China for about 5 good years now. Looking at your life and flashing back, is it worth it to take that decision back in 2019?
yes, it was worth it because you have to be determined to step out of the box that society has placed you in. You are a black woman, you are a mother, blah, blah. They put you in all
Yeah,
these boxes, and you have to be able to step out, to be willing
yeah,
to step out and to find who you really are and what your skills and abilities that are embedded within you. And you can't find those if you choose to stay in your comfort zone. It's worth it because even though it has not been easy for me,
yes,
very difficult times and moments. But then I discovered new things about myself, new abilities and talents that I now appreciate. I have developed a higher adversity quotient. I'm more
wow,
resilient, more adaptable. And these things I don't think I could have developed them at home. So
yeah,
take the step, see what's out there, do it afraid, but do it anyway. Discover new
wow,
depths to yourself. Explore the new you. Unbecome your limiting mindsets. Unbecome what your society has, the chains and the boxes that your society has placed you in. Unbecoming your past. Unbecome
wow,
what people expect of you. Become new. Become a new person. Develop new talents,
wow,
skills. avenues, and you'll be surprised with who you have become, because I surprise myself almost every day looking at my pictures. I
Yeah.
was say, who is that girl? And now I look at the woman that I am become, that I have become, and I'm continuously evolving into this
Yeah.
into this leader, this servant leader, this transformational leader. And I am proud of my achievements, and I am curious as to what's
Wow.
next. What's next?
W-
There's more.
Wow. Wow. This is so powerful. From what you just said reminded me of one quote. I don't really remember the person, but the person said, the 21st illiterate will not be someone who cannot read and write,
Oh,
but it will be
yes, yes.
someone
Mm-hmm.
who cannot unlearn and relearn. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
this is
Yeah,
so
I've had to
powerful.
unlearn so many things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've had to
Wow,
unlearn a lot of things, and I'm continuously learning new things. Each day I go up there with an open mindset. What am I supposed to learn today? Every challenge gives me an opportunity to
yeah,
learn something new about myself, about people, and how to adjust, how to adapt. Because if you're not able to adjust in this changing world, you're going to become extinct. And it's not
yeah,
about your qualification, your degrees. It's about going into an atmosphere, into a place, and owning who you are, and growing and
yeah,
changing the trajectory, changing the culture, the feel of that environment, and
yes.
growing, thriving.
Wow. Um, Before we even end this interview, if somebody is still doubting to come to China, what are the things you tell that person who is doubting whether to come to China?
Come and see. Come and see for yourself. Come with an open mind to learn new things, to grow, to be challenged, to go to a higher depth, to go to a deeper depth of yourself, to come and see. Do it, afraid, but do it. Do it and know that at least I did it. And I have to look back when I'm 60 and I'm living in regret. I wish I had done that. I wish I had taken that step. I wish I had launched that business. I wish I had written that book.
Yeah,
I don't want to be at 60 and saying, I wish I had. I want to look back and I can say to myself, Jen, yes, you did it. You did this and you did more. And I want to leave that legacy for my children and my children's children. They can look back and they can say, my grandmother, my grandmother, she went to
yeah,
China and she did this and this and this. And if she did it, so can I. Because for myself, I truly believe I have my African mothers in me who are strong and bold, just like I am,
yeah,
and who ventured out and changed society. And I don't know which tribe I belong to, I've never really investigated it, but I know that I have them. And one of my
yeah.
greatest quotes from Maya Angelou: I come as one, I stand as many. I am not
Wow,
just this one person in this society. I stand with decades, centuries of black women like me moving out into the
wow,
virtual, into the world, and changing how people view us, changing opinions, and just launching into new areas and levels of success.
wow,
I come as one, I stand as many.
wow. This is so, so, so powerful. In fact, you are so brave, you are so courageous. Like, and like, I can imagine how life is to be a single mom, being so brave, so bold. This is so inspiring. And I know this will also inspire a lot of people, especially uh, females or ladies. Yeah. You have made me believe that yes,
Mhm.
women can also do it bravely, boldly, like men do. You have made me understand that, yeah,
Yes.
women can stand on their own, do it. Possible is possible. Wow, this is so, so inspiring.
Do it.
I I feel so proud and so happy when I see ladies doing it all, doing their best like you have done and you are still doing. I'm so really proud of you, and I'm so grateful to God for how far He has brought you. For the journey has not been easy though, but you have been able to toil through, and this is how far you have come. We are grateful to God for your life and for your life experiences in China, and for willing to share all these life experiences to others. This will go a long way to inspire people, especially single mom who are thinking their life has just ended, single
Mm.
mom who are thinking, oh, all is done and without a money, their life is never possible. But
Ah,
today, Jennifer is telling us that it's possible because she
it
has done
is.
it.
It
She
is.
has done
Do
it.
it.
Wow.
Afraid, but do it. Do it.
Anyhow,
Step
I
out and
love that
see.
quote.
Come and see.
Wow. That's so powerful. Before we even leave, I would like you to say your last words about China, your last words about coming to China.
Coming here has revolutionized my entire life,
Wow.
my entire emotional capacity, everything about who I was, um, who I am now. This woman now intrigues me. She
Wow.
captivates me, and I want to know more about who she's becoming. And China is not for the weak-hearted. It's not for those persons who are not willing to adapt and adjust and be flexible and learn new things. It's not for
Yeah.
you if you're not willing to learn and unlearn. And you have to take the plunge and say, I am willing to learn. I'm willing to grow and thrive in this environment. And comes what may. They're going to be hard times, but these
Yeah.
hard times are going to be there to build your resilience and to build your tenacity and to help you to become a better person, to become the best version of yourself. So come and see.
Wow. Come and see beauty. Wow. I have to really congratulate you for the journey of coming to China from 2019 till now 2024. Congratulations for that journey and for the hard work. I've been seeing you doing a lot. Several times seeing you on several platforms doing a lot. Everywhere I see Jenny, 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 Jenny.
Workaholic.
So I was like, wow, why won't you ask Jenny? Why won't you bring her to share her life story? And in fact, this is
Thank
going
you
to
so
inspire
much.
a lot of people. And thank you very much for honoring our
Thank
invitation
you.
and for willing to share everything out. And in the future, we'll still have you more. I would like to know much. Sometime we can talk about
Yeah.
your book and other life. Yeah, most so many
Me
things. I feel
there,
like
me there right here, so right here, so just call me. Me there, so.
sure, sure, sure. So before we even end the live stream, I'd like you to um tell us your handles again where people can reach you out. I know there will be several people who would like to reach you personally, and where can they reach you and what you do again. Yeah, just
Okay, so I'm an educator, first of all. I'm a certified, ICA certified life coach, mentor, trainer, author. I can be found
yeah,
on Instagram at Jennifer_transformational
yeah,
underscore coach. I can be found at the Transform Global Services at
okay,
podia.com, the Transforming Lives Coaching Center at gmail.com, I'm on Facebook as Jennifer Richards. I'm on LinkedIn as Jennifer Richards too. And of course, I'm on WeChat. I have a large community called Hello Hope because I believe in
Yeah.
the power of hope. And
Wow.
I network and I partner with people to build bridges to transform lives on different levels. So you can find me in the different communities. Um, yeah, I'm here.
Wow. That's so powerful. Thank you so much, Jenny, for
Thank you.
willing to share your life experience. You have really showed me that ladies can do it and do it better. Single moms can also do it and do it better. They are
Yeah.
brave, strong, courageous, and to be frank with you, you are so beautiful. Thank you for coming to share your life experience. And we can't wait to have you more in the future to share more of your story, your life journey, some about your books, and many more. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
This is where,
Dax, for doing this
yeah,
too. You're doing a tremendous job. I applaud you and I will support you in
thank
whatever you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. And this is where time will permit us to end. Guys, thank you very much for staying tuned to listen to this end. And stay tuned for more live streams like this, where we'll be bringing people to share their life story, their experiences, so that what they have gone through, you won't go through. You learn some from their mistakes, their journey, and everything, and that will make you stronger than never before. Thank you for having us and see you some other time. Bye bye.
What good?
Thank you.